But let me say this clearly, for Nigerians to also understand the perspective, that the entire issue in Rivers State today is not between the governor and the House of Assembly. It is between the governor and the minister of the FCT. The moment whatever the assembly is deciding, they wait for the minister to give a go-ahead. If the minister says go ahead to impeach him, remember, just on Saturday, the minister had stated clearly and said that they must impeach the governor. And if the minister had said they must impeach the governor, the assembly members who are his puppets followed suit. Don't forget, this same minister bought forms for all the members of the Rivers House of Assembly, and he controls whatever they do. They are not even loyal to the Rivers people who they seek to serve. They are loyal to the minister of their city. So whatever happens to Rivers people is none of their business, it's not their concern. So far as the minister of the FCT, his wishes are being satisfied in the process, then they are okay. And this has plunged our state into the crisis we are facing today. Honestly, I must tell you that I sympathize with the governor. Honestly, I sympathize with him in the circumstances he has actually found himself, because probably he got a great gift from the minister, and that's the minister has used to make sure that the administration of this current administration is being frustrated. Let's also not forget that the minister had once promised during the launch of the book of Justice Ichendu. During his book launch, he had promised that he was going to make sure that the governor suffers and frustrates the administration. And that is exactly what is happening today in Rivers State. What about the whole rhetoric of trying to use the constitution to cover up things and all that? It is just the minister wanting the governor to come and lick his feet. Another form of godfatherism that somebody wants to reinstitute in Rivers State. And that Rivers people have said no. That some of us have also said no. But the Supreme Court has given a judgment. The governor has shown willingness and interest to support this particular judgment. What have they done in the circumstance? They have frustrated the governor from implementing certain aspects of the judgment that the Supreme Court has actually given. Don't forget, amongst other things that the Supreme Court actually reached in its decision was the issue of local government, which the governor has directed the local government chairman to vacate their seats. And they all did. We have also seen RISEC.
Mr. Nwala, let me come in here. Thank you so much. But I want you to let's break it down so that it's also an opportunity for our viewers to understand the process. You talk about process and procedures. Can you share with us the first step of the process, according to Section 188 of the Constitution, has been followed, which is a letter to the Speaker of the House signed by not less than 2/3 of the House, and that number has been fulfilled. What then happens afterwards? I ask this because, let's not jump to that. Let's take us through the process so that we are able to also follow through the process, and everyone who's watching as well can understand that. And then you made a mention of the fact that Minister Wike paid for the forms for all these lawmakers. But didn't he do the same as well for Governor Fubara himself? And wouldn't you say Governor Fubara is reaping perhaps what he's sown in terms of the fact that he was handpicked by Wike? Wike funded his campaign, installed him as governor, and now he's resisting the same hands as Godfather that puts him there. Just to talk about that, because it's not just the lawmakers that the forms were bought for. They also bought form for the governor as well. So please, first of all, the process, and then second of all, Governor Fubara as well is not in himself totally innocent in all of this. He played along until a certain point.
Now, if you go by Section 188 of the Constitution, it actually made clear the steps that should be followed with respect to an impeachment process, which, just like you had noted, the first step has been taken, which is the notice of impeachment. The letter, first of all, sent to the notice of impeachment actually brought before the House of Assembly, and sending such notice down to the governor, which the Speaker has done in the circumstance. Now, what is expected if you go down to Section 188 sub 2, and you take it down to sub 5 and all that, you would also discover that from that particular process, the governor is expected to make a representation in the circumstance, and within 14 days of the presentation of the notice to the Speaker is expected, as contained in sub 3 of section 188, the Speaker is expected to bring the allegations before, within 7 days, the Speaker is expected to bring the allegation before the Governor. Within 14 days, the Governor is expected to reply in the circumstance. And whether he replies or not, a motion will be held at the floor of the House as to whether the allegations before the House should be investigated or not in the circumstance. So where the House passed that particular motion to say, okay, that the allegations against the Governor should be investigated, then the House cannot proceed with the investigation of the allegations by writing to the Chief Judge of the state and asking the Chief Judge of the state to set up a 7-man committee of men of impeccable character within the state. Now, let me also note this particular fact that it is men of impeccable character within the state, and they need not be judges or thereabout, but they have the Constitution states clearly that they have to make sure that they are not partisan and that they are men of impeccable character in the circumstance. Now, when the Chief Judge has gone ahead to set up this panel, if the panel finds the allegation, the panel would actually invite, within 3 months, would invite the Governor, would also invite the House of Assembly, or the accusers, as it were, if within this particular period, the panel finds, in their report, finds the Governor not guilty in the circumstance, then the matter ends there. Yeah. And no action can be taken thereafter. But where the panel finds him guilty, where the panel finds him guilty in the circumstance, then the Governor stands removed. It will be reported back to the House of Assembly, and the House of Assembly will take actions in that particular process, and the Governor stands removed. That is the procedure from section 188 in the removal of the Governor. Of course, we are currently at the first stage of this particular procedure. We are expecting that within 14 days that the motions will be taken in the floor of the House and all that. But now, when you go back now to the other issue of Wike buying forms for every other person, including the Governor himself, let me tell you something. Remember, when this whole crisis started, I was still here in your studio, and I stated clearly that, unfortunately, what we saw in Rivers State was the high-handedness of Wike, even in the last elections, that led to the emergence of this current Governor, and that led to the emergence of every other person that was elected under the PDP in Rivers State. We saw the high-handedness of the FCT minister, and how he made sure that he actually brought to silent all opposition voices within the state. And people's businesses were destroyed because he wanted to bring a stooge into power, and he made sure that he brought his preferred candidate into office. And today, the man has said, "See, I was elected by my people to serve my people." That we cannot continue with this hanky-panky thing against Rivers people, against the interests of Rivers people. And if the Governor has taken that stand, and to take the stand in favor of Rivers people at this point, those of us who actually stood against the actions of the FCT minister then, and we are now seeing that the Governor is taking a stand that is pro-people, we will support that stand, and we'll stand with it.
Mr. Wala, what did I hear you call Fubara a stooge? Really? What about the Rivers people? That voted in their elections? Were they also stooges of Mr. Wike? What about the people that unanimously voted in Fubara? No, hang on a minute. What about the people that unanimously voted in Fubara? And what's this idea I'm hearing about one man? Just one man having the capacity to sway everything in the states because he feels he reigns supreme. What about the people in all of this? Is it that they don't play a role? Is it that their votes don't even count? So is it that all the stakeholders in Rivers State have no voice in all of this? Is that what you people are saying out of Rivers? Because I know you're also from Rivers.
Let's make this clear. Let me clarify this. Now, what Wike wanted was a situation where he would have a third term through the current Governor of Rivers State. And the Governor has looked at it that whatever the plans of the minister is not in the best interest of Rivers people. And that is why this is part of the reasons why you are seeing that there is a disagreement between the Governor and the Minister of the FCT. And that is why he has taken the stand to rather stand with the people of Rivers State than to stand with the FCT minister. That's why we're having these challenges today. Now, let me say this. I can't remember the last time we had, ever since we had Wike as governor of Rivers State, I can't remember the last time we had a free and fair election in Rivers State. By my own assessment and calculation, I can't remember the last time we had a free and fair election. We all know how Wike muscled his way through that particular election, how he stopped opposition from campaigning. Even the presidential candidate of the PDP was stopped from campaigning. And let me say this. I have always shouted about the high-handedness of the FCT minister in Rivers State and how he has led Rivers State and took Rivers State 10 years backward as governor. Today, we are seeing a glimpse of light, a gleam of light, and that light, he wants to quench that particular light because everything has to be about him. Today, anybody who does not support him, he wakes up in the morning, calls them names. As I speak to you today, they are after the chief judge of the state. This same chief judge is after today, who is actually referring and calling names. Of course, it was this same governor who appointed the chief judge. The Speaker of the House of Assembly was then the leader of the House of Assembly when this current chief judge was screened as the chief judge of the state. But what did they do? They did not remember that he actually falsified his age. Now that the man seemed not to play ball with them because they want to impeach the governor, they now remember that, oh, he falsified his age. They are now coming up with age falsification, trying to intimidate the chief judge, to bend him towards whatever their whims and caprices. That we will resist. That we will say no to. And it's actually unfortunate. See, what is happening in Rivers State is just Wike wanting to be in control of everything happening in the state. And if you're not in line with whatever he's doing, you're a bad person, you don't have character, you don't keep to your word, and all that. But we all know who does not have character in Rivers State. We get somebody who will say something in the morning and in the afternoon he's saying something else. All his principles, everything he has fought against in his time as governor, he has gone against them. None of his principles has he kept. This same man, none of his principles has he kept. So today, if you're not doing his bidding, if you're not in line with whatever he's saying, oh, you're a charlatan, you don't have character, you don't have integrity. He's the only person who has integrity. Yet, we have records, different records, where he made statements and never kept to any of them. A statement as to whether the governor can be impeached or cannot be impeached and those arguments and all that, it's not really an issue because it is the constitutional right of the assembly to carry out an impeachment process against the governor where they find the governor wanting, and which the assembly has taken this particular step in the circumstance. However, it is not just about raising up these allegations. It is about proving these allegations to be true in the circumstance. And until they are able to prove these allegations to be true in the circumstance, there are procedures to impeachment. It is not about waking up in the morning to say, oh, we want to impeach the governor must be impeached and all that. But you must follow the constitutional provisions as stipulated in Section 188 of the Constitution. And the steps which the Constitution has provided in the circumstance. You know, the buck does not stop in the House of Assembly. You also have the role of the chief judge in the circumstance where he has to appoint a 7-man panel as stipulated by the Constitution. And they would also go ahead to carry out this particular investigation. And let me tell you this, I'm so sad as a person and as a Rivers indigene that we are facing these challenges we are facing because of the minister of the FCT. The Rivers State House of Assembly as at today has made itself a puppet to the FCT minister. And it's actually unfortunate and it is sad. And this has kept our state in the situation it is facing today. And let me state this, the challenges we are facing, we felt when the decision from the Supreme Court came that these issues would at some point be relaxed and all that, and everybody would not follow the decisions of the Supreme Court and will now get to make progress as a state. But it's not looking likely that we are going to make progress because somebody wants everybody to come, bow before him and worship him. That cannot happen. It is unfortunate. It cannot happen. We have seen this crisis continue for the while it has continued, and stakeholders who are supposed to even help resolve these issues have either taken sides or have also compromised themselves in the entire process.
So guys, there is this headline that says that Rivers PDP is accusing the Supreme Court for delivering judgment that favors the APC. I mean, the Wike pro lawmakers. You know that these people are working for the APC. So you find out that the crisis in Rivers has decided not to stop. I mean, that crisis is saying I'm not going to stop because the people who are the vehicles being used in this crisis have decided that this crisis will continue. We've been told that what Wike means when he says his structure was destroyed is that while Wike was leaving the office, as governor, Wike put in place, some structures, people at different points, different places, so that at any time he can come in to the state, make use of the structures he already has on ground, and go his way. If it means during election you can pay Wike to give you Rivers State, he has it in his hand. So these are some of the things Wike believes that Fubara disrupted, the structures he has on ground. And then also we've been told that Wike needed a third term. Fubara was supposed to be a puppet, but Fubara resisted that, and because of that, Wike does not want to hear. These are the things fueling the crisis in Rivers State. Fubara refused to be a puppet, and Wike said he spoiled his structure. What is that structure? All the people Wike puts in various places were all the chain was disrupted, and he felt, the way things are now, if a presidential election should happen, I won't be able to use the states at my own terms. He wanted Fubara to just be there while he would still be the one coordinating. And these are some of the things that Fubara came and distorted, That is why they are after Fubara. Where on earth will you see a man who enjoyed so much privilege and support from the Rivers people for 8 years? And he was then, bashing out at, the former governor, Amechi, saying Amechi only stays in Abuja. He doesn't come home. He doesn't even care. Now Wike has finished his own term. Instead of him to go and relax, Wike is on Rivers State. Rivers must come and bow. Fubara must impeach. If Fubara is not impeached, nothing will work. Nothing will happen. If Fubara will be impeached and nothing will happen. And all the APC people, you see them, they can't talk. The APC people cannot talk. The president cannot talk. The party leaders cannot talk about the excesses of Wike. He's working for the APC. You see how why people say politics is so dirty. You don't consider others. You will be so self-centered. Even if it's to the detriment, to the buying of others. You'll be so self-centered because it's going to be for your own political gain. So sometimes when I hear people say Wike is planning to become president, I just keep asking myself, where on this planet Earth? Which country is going to accept Wike, assuming it's not even a Nigerian, to become president? Anyway, it's because Nigerians can be so easily bought over. People can be given 5,000 naira and they'll forget their senses and just sell their voters' card to all these politicians. If not, I tell you boldly, Wike cannot. After all, people have said it that Wike has never allowed any election to be free and fair. Wike does not understand anything that is free and fair election. And that is why he believes that, if he takes hold of Rivers State, he will be able to manipulate, he will be able to conquer. It is time for people to even stand up and speak. Because this fight is not just of Fubara. If Wike impeaches Fubara and Wike lawmaker, the speaker, becomes governor, these are some of the things they want to do, Wike is definitely going to bring his own person to become governor. These are plans for 2027 presidential election because the APC needs River to win. River State, they need it. So if they put these things in place, they will be able to conquer Rivers and take Rivers come next election. We know that people have come out to say that Wike does not allow the conduction of free and fair election. Wike doesn't like anything that is free and fair in terms of elections. He likes to do his thing. You've seen people who came out saying that we wrote the result. We know how it happened. We wrote the result. Labour Party won, but we wrote the result. We wrote the result. That is just what Wike wants again. So he feels that if you are thinking that Wike is going to give up in impeaching Fubara, he's not going to give up. He will do it. But guess what? The judiciary will return him, except for now. that the judiciary has been bought over, because we don't even know what they are giving us in terms of judgment. People just, the judiciary just dancing to the tone of, you know, these politicians. Nobody is talking, everybody's mouth is sealed. The judiciary will give that was what they did after elections in 2023. They began to tell us that the beavers are not important, IRF is not important, INEC can decide whenever, at any time, even at the dime minute, INEC can change all the regulations that they've given out, INEC can do anything, that the FCT is not necessary again, it's not important for somebody to win election. That's when you know that these judges, they've set this country ablaze. They are doing all these things in favor of Wike. It's really so sad that we are here, honestly. It's really, really so sad that these people have taken this country to a land of no return. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell. Please give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend it to others. And drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you.